Hi guys, it's Sophie and I'm here to do another Manbecker 2018 book review. Now this is one that you've all waited very patiently for, so I'm glad to say that finally I'm going to be talking about The Overstory by Richard Powers. I read this over a period of a month. It is a big book, it is a chunky book, its chapters are very long. There are kind of small demarcations between the chapters, but I would say the chapters themselves are very long, and I actually think it's a book that suits to a more relaxed, gentle read than a kind of push your way through. I really loved what The Overstory is, the messages it had, and the overall feel of it as a book. It reminded me a little bit of The Ease of Writing of a Little Life or A Doubter's Almanac by Ethan Kanin, both of which I just really enjoy. I just really enjoyed both of their writing style, and Richard Powers was the same. I've tried to buy others of his books in person since, but can't find any, so I wonder if they are a little bit of the same vein and that they are quite heavy and they don't normally get stocked. So let's talk a little bit about the book itself. What is it? Why should you read it? Which you should. It is a story of trees told through lots of different people. I think that's really how I'd best describe it. So the book itself is split up into different sections. So we have roots, trunk, crown, and I think that's right. Yeah, roots, trunk, crown. And they are the three kind of sections of the trees. The people that we follow, the characters we follow, and there are a lot of them, are all connected in some way to trees in some manner, and they're all in different, very different ways. So for example, there's one character who is paralysed, and he is a computer game designer who makes hyper-realistic world building games in which characters play in a fake version of kind of Eden. There is someone else who, his family, through the period of their generations, took photos of a chestnut tree growing from the soil, and they ended up having the only chestnut available in this whole swathe of America. And the characters are wonderful. They do feel like real people. They're these kind of beautiful snapshots, and I actually went on a walk with Tom and read a section, like a page, and it was kind of, you read through a page and you can get so much life in there. And I think there was this one character, and we kind of went through a whole generation in about 3 pages, so it's this really essential, thick, meaty writing, but it's not difficult to read at all. But I don't think the people are the main focus of this story, and I don't think the people are the main characters in this story, as weird as that is. I think this book is basically about trees, and that sounds really strange, and I don't know if I'd have sold myself on that necessarily if that's what I thought it was going in. But this book is just such a fabulous way of making you appreciate the world around you, appreciate what trees are and all of the different ways that they form and all of the different ways that our planet works. And it is such a beautiful story about the reason why we need to be aware of our environment and care for the earth we live in, because it illustrates the different ways in which this particular living thing influences different people, but also how it stands kind of outside of their lives. And I really like the way the structure mimics that you have through these people's lives, the idea of something bigger, the idea of this tree growing up through the stories. It is just absolutely fantastic scale of thought and scale of ideology that doesn't feel like it's being spoon-fed, but that also doesn't feel particularly inaccessible. I think if you read it, you understand what it is the author's trying to do. And it does remind me a little bit of Infinite Jest in a weird way, in that the author has a message they want you to go away with, but they're telling it through this large-scale story, and I have a lot of time for that. I have a lot of room for books that give you space and challenge you to actually sit with them for a long period of time, and I think that's one of the reasons why I enjoyed spending a month on it so much. If you think it sounds interesting at all, if you just want something to curl up with over the autumn and have something you can reliably go back to in the evenings for a few months, I think The Overstory is such a good place to go. I think you'll get something from it, you'll certainly learn something from it. You don't get to bite me. You'll certainly learn something from it. I learned so much about trees that I passed on to everyone in my life and just spouting tree facts. And I think it gives you a real appreciation for nature and a real desire to be out in nature. I have been on many walks in woods because I want to be nearer them because of this book, and I just think that's brilliant. I really, really loved it. I wouldn't be cross in the slightest if this one won. If this one won, I would completely understand, and I think from those I've read so far, probably technically this one would be the winner. There's another that I prefer for the winner if the judges go with their heart rather than their minds, but I think, thinking about it, this is the book that should win the Man Booker this year, and I absolutely recommend that you do give it a read. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read it and you've enjoyed it. Let me know if you're going to pick it up. I've seen a lot of people who have said they've picked it up because I've been chatting about enjoying it as I've been reading it, so hopefully it's reassuring to have me chatting about it and saying I really liked it when I finished it. Yes, I will see you guys soon in another video. I've nearly read and reviewed all of the Man Bookers now. As I sit here today, I've only got 3 left, and I'm actually halfway through 2 of those. So I'm probably not going to quite make it by the time we get to the shortlist, although I might have in real life, but I'm just putting these up once a week throughout the period. I will do a shortlist predictions video on the 19th or 20th, whenever that is, so that you guys know where I stand, but I'm going to keep spreading these reviews out throughout the whole period to give you something to get your teeth into and get excited for. Yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed it. I feel like I've done so well with Man Bookers this season, and hopefully it's been something that has been helpful for you guys too. I'll see you guys again soon in another video. Bye bye.